Hello, everybody. My name is Dallas. You're watching the Fantasy Football Outpost. We are trying to bust through these and get them all done by tonight because everybody starts their drafts tomorrow and Sunday. We want to finish them. These are our positional mock drafts. This one's going to go a little bit faster than usual, so it's probably the next one because I do have to leave for work. But I'm trying to bust these out this morning. These are basically I draft from every single position in 8-team, 10-team, and 12-team formats, and we are now on pick number 7. And so we're going to go ahead and begin this PPR format, standard roster, QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex, kicker, and defense. We will not be drafting a kicker or a defense. It's just there to add realism to it. Go ahead and begin. So let's see what we get falling to us. Like I said, this is going to change dramatically because of the set. So right here, easy pick, Devontae Adams. Absolutely taking that. On the turn, came right back to us, and unfortunately Le'Veon went. That's okay. Now we take a look and see what's on the board. And do we want to go down and grab who I think is the next best running back right here? Joe Mixon. And the only reason I'm going to pass on that is because Juju Smith-Schuster's sitting here. Again, I explain this in just about every single one of these that I do. Wide receiver 1, DeAndre Hopkins. Number 2, Devontae Adams. Number 3, Tyreek Hill. And this is based on how they'll finish the year, but I will take Juju and Julio. Julio has not, well, he's dropped out. Juju and Julio over Tyreek Hill, but I take Juju over Julio this year. I just think he's poised to have an amazing year. At that point, though, take whichever one your gut tells you should take. If you're not on that Julio train like I am, then by all means, you don't have to take it. But now, easy money right there. Well, actually, sorry, correction on that. I would have taken Damian Williams there over Carry-On and then hoped Carry-On came back. But we took Carry-On first, and it ended up working out because we got them both. Flip those two because I take Damian over Carry-On. Damian's, I have no idea. Everybody's hype training this Darwin Thompson guy because he raced all the way up the board and took Carlos Hyde's job. So he didn't take Damian Williams' job. I don't get that narrative. Easy pick right here. Marlon Mack, like I said, in an 8-team league, if you're RB3, somebody's RB2, you're looking pretty good if that's your flex starter. And we're still able to round things out with, well, actually here lately I've moved Julian Edelman down slightly based on with Josh Gordon being back. I still think he's going to be highly efficient, but now I have him with Brandon Cooks and Stephon Diggs. I have moved Robert Woods one spot above him. Well, better yet, I have him tied with like Robert Woods and Amari Cooper, Adam Thielen. That's where I have him at. And honestly, let's look at bye weeks. So we got 11 and 7. Julian Edelman's 10. Robert Woods is 9. So it doesn't conflict at all. This is really personal preference. I feel I can't pass up on Julian Edelman. He's too talented. I can't do it. I have him as my wide receiver 2 and a lot. To get him as my 3, that's just a ridiculous stack. Comes back around to us another, well, maybe not. Okay, thank you, Sonny Michelle, for getting drafted, making that an easier pick. I wasn't going to be able to pass up Sonny sitting there. It's okay because I like it because we can go down and grab Evan Ingram, turn right around, keep adding that running back depth here, and snag us up Miles Sanders. What we're looking at, this team right now is fantastic. Let's see what we get in the 9th. Coming back around. All right, so again, if you wanted to wait on tight ends and you're a Hunter Henry fan, here you go. I'm not a Hunter Henry fan. The last 2 I liked is Evan Ingram and O.J. Howard. I don't put Hunter Henry in that class. So now we're going to look, and we want to solidify our wide receiver position. We're going to go down and grab my next favorite one, and that's Curtis Samuel right there. And now, let's take a look and see. This is where we finally can kind of hands off, kind of take things in, and see what we need to do here with our pick. So, with the injury news with Cam Newton, I've been taking Cam Newton in every single draft late as I can. I'll take it all day long. You can do one or two things with that. I say you reach a little bit and take Carson Wentz. I say reach is 10th round, but I think he would be the next best. But I think you can wait a little bit later and still get Jared Goff or Jameis Winston. Something like that, I'm perfectly okay with waiting on, and so we can solidify another position even better. We're looking here when it comes back. I think we're going to be able to get Kalen Ballage if we wait. So we're going to take D.D. Westbrook here. You could argue Josh Gordon if you didn't have Julian Edelman, But we do have Julian Edelman, so we are taking D.D. Westbrook. If you didn't have a tight end, you could consider Vance. Again, it's just too early for me. I liked when he was in like the 10th, 9th, 10th round in 12-team leagues, so I don't even know 12th round in this. I think he's going too early now. He did make it. Oh no, Kalen Ballage went. Oh, that hurts. It's okay though. You can look and see what are we left with now at running back, and it looks like the best available is Royce Freeman. So we're going to wait because right after Royce Freeman, we also have Devin Singletary, Matt Breida, and we only have to make 2 more picks because we only got around 12 in this. So let's go ahead and look. Quarterbacks, again, I do this a lot in the 18 leagues because he's falling this far. I think you take Andrew Luck, easy pick here. You don't back it up right here at the tail end. You can definitely wait, and I'll show you what I mean by that. I'm going to take another one of my favorite wide receivers here, and that's Larry Fitzgerald. I think he's going to absolutely have a great year PPR-wise. Any formats that aren't PPR, I'm really not a Larry Fitzgerald fan this year. But I think as a potential flex, but definitely just a bye-week starter, he should be fine. Let's look at the bye weeks. We've got 11, 7, 10, 7, 10. Yeah, he's not going to conflict with any of that. Let's go ahead and snag him up. This is where we typically stop, but I'm going to show you basically what you can do quarterback-wise here. So we are actually, because of that injury, looks like, okay, there goes Cam. Easy enough. Right here is where you would back it up with Jared Goff. We're going to pause it. We typically only go 12 rounds, but this is to solidify why taking Andrew Luck there made perfect sense. He's a QB2 going into the offseason with the injury risk. People are backing off that dramatically. So let's look at this team here. So kind of flip these two visually. Damian Williams is my RB8. Carry-on's probably like my 11th or 12th. I need to go in and do a full-on, like all the way to 30 before my draft Sunday because I don't need to I did top 10 and kind of stopped, but I kind of know who I like after that. But the fact that we got Damien in the 4th is just ridiculous. But Andrew Luck, like I said, QB2, if you can't imagine him not injured, that's okay because we got Jared Goff. So however you want to look at it, it's one of the only scenarios where I'm taking a backup quarterback in an 8-team league. So then our running backs are ridiculous. Kerryon Johnson, Damian Williams, and Marlon Mack. Always try to solidify my pick for myself by saying, would my RB3, my flex starter, would that be at least an RB2 on another team? And so we look, Le'Veon, Devonta Freeman. I do like Marlon Mack better than Freeman this year, so that would be RB2. That's arguable, but still pretty close. David Johnson, Chris Carson, I have them virtually the same, so I'm just going to call it a tie. But I still win because he's my 3rd. So next we look at, this guy's RB1's Derrick Henry. My RB3 is better than his RB1. Saquon, James Conner, Joe Mixon. That's a great team right there running back wise, but then you look, we absolutely dominate them in the wide receiver field. Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette. I take Marlon Mack over Leonard Fournette. I'm not a Fournette fan at all. And Christian McCaffrey, Nick Chubb, Melvin Gordon. Obviously, if Melvin Gordon's there, then he's got a solid set there. This guy just went ridiculous, and his wide receivers are way lower. We were able to get on our wide receivers, Devontae Adams, my wide receiver 2, Juju Smith-Schuster, my wide receiver 4, is just ridiculous. Evan Ingram, my tight end 4, absolutely monstrosity of a stack here. The bench is ridiculous. Julian Edelman, Miles Sanders, Curtis Samuel, D.D. Westbrook, Larry Fitzgerald. These two go, for me, pretty much virtually the same. If I don't get one, I take the other just because I love their situation. So we're going to go ahead and end this one. We're trying to fly through this faster than we have because I'm going to see if I'll have time to bust through the 8-team as well this morning. Let's go ahead. Or pick 8, I mean. Draft settings, 10 teams. Update, we'll just do the exact same thing again. 12 rounds. All the way through, yeah, we did 10 teams, 12 rounds. Pick 7, again. See what falls through this time. DeAndre Hopkins at the 2. Wow. Again, if they're going to let Devontae Adams fall in our lap here, I expect to take Le'Veon at the spot. If they're going to let Devontae Adams fall in our lap, give me that every day of the week. Let's see what comes back around. There goes Le'Veon. There goes Nick Chubb. There goes Juju, making our pick a lot easier because if Juju was there, it makes it very difficult to pass on this, but he's not. We're getting Joe Mixon, my running back 7 after Le'Veon Bell. Todd Gurley's tied with Dalvin at my 10th. James Conner's my 9th. Nick Chubb is probably at my 12th or 13th. I don't have the faith people have in him. And like I said, because of how far he's falling on people's boards. My running back 8 is sitting right here for me, Damian Williams. That is just it. Take that every day you can get that. That is just amazing, amazing value. Josh Jacobs is still here too. Again, the wide receiver talent is so strong that if you can do this right here, you're set. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Josh Jacobs over Freeman for me as their RB2. Dalvin, no, I don't have him over that, but over Melvin, yes, absolutely. Now we're locking it up. Unfortunately, that whole tier of wide receivers went. Not the whole tier. The very last one's still here, but the Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Edelman, Godwin, Cooper, Diggs, that whole group. The last tail end ones of the group is Tyler Lockett, and then after that is Tyler Boyd. So we're going to take Tyler Lockett. I'm perfectly okay with that as my wide receiver too. Given the fact that these are our running backs, that's just ridiculous. We unfortunately weren't able to get Tyler Boyd, so now we're going to take a step back and look and see what we have here. Do I want to go ahead and make sure I try to solidify something with wide receiver? I don't need to because I know the third one I want. I'm going to go ahead and lock down Evan Ingram, the tight end that I absolutely love and take him anywhere I can. Let's see. Unfortunately, Miles Sanders went. He was one I was hoping came back, but he's not the wide receiver I was talking about. Yep, the wide receiver made it here. Yep. Alshon Jeffrey, I have no idea why he's falling. Give me that. And then we're going to even more solidify it with this very next pick if he falls. See if he does. He did. Right here. Curtis Samuel. Golden lineup right there. I absolutely love this. What looked like it may have been risky waiting and getting Tyler Lockett as our wide receiver too, which is perfectly fine. We are able to, any one of these three could end up our wide receiver too, and I'm more than okay with that scenario. So here, because of the wide receivers, the way they look, I do want to solidify my running back with one of the last high-powered ones that I see here, and that's Kalen Ballage. I would have loved to take D.D. Westbrook there, but I can't pass on Kalen Ballage there. And like I said, when it comes to the D.D. Westbrook situation, if I miss out on him, I just take me Larry Fitzgerald. I'm going to make sure there's nothing here that I want over that. There's not. This is where I would typically take Jared Goff, but I'm kind of toying around with waiting now because of Cam Newton is the one I absolutely would take. If he's fully healthy, he had to come out in a boot, but if he's fully healthy, then he's who I'm taking. But if not, it's too risky. I can't do it. So we're going to go ahead and take Larry Fitzgerald. I guess Andrew Luck could have been a pick there too. I wasn't paying attention to the fact that he was sitting there. That's okay though. That's probably who we should have taken if you switch that. But like I said, we're perfectly fine. Now we're looking. We can wait one more turn before we take Jameis Winston. So let's look and see what's here. We've got, honestly, the best one here is Matt Breida in my opinion. I think he's another one of my sleepers. I see a world where him and Tevin Coleman are both valuable on the same team. So with our last pick, we're going to round it out with, we're good, Jameis Winston right here, my wide receiver 9, my quarterback 9. Perfectly okay with this draft here. Should have taken Andrew Luck instead of Fitzgerald and then solidified it with Jameis and then probably taken a wide receiver here. I maybe still would have taken Breida because of the late wide receiver talent. This stuff happens. I'm rushing. I shouldn't have been. I should have slowed it down a little bit there, but that's okay. Let's look at our team. Jameis, absolutely 1,000% comfortable with him as my quarterback 1. I literally took Larry Fitzgerald because I thought Luck was gone. So intentionally waiting for Jameis. So having him as my 1 is great. Getting Joe Mixon and Damian Williams is just ridiculous when you also factor in we also got Josh Jacobs. That is just nuts. Then we got Devontae Adams and Tyler Lockett, but we solidified it with Alshon, Curtis Samuel, and Larry Fitzgerald. Any one of them could work their way up into that wide receiver 2 spot if Lockett starts to fall. I personally think Lockett's going to have a great year, though, as the wide receiver 1 for Seattle. Evan Ingram, again, tight end 4. We rounded out our running backs with Kalen Ballage, Matt Breida, nothing but opportunity there. And considering we start 3 of them, that's my running back 4 and 5. That's absolutely fantastic. Love this roster we ended up with. Not draft settings. Zoom, and go ahead and go back. Go. Switch this on over to 12 teams. Same thing. Playing that 7 spot. Here's where things start to get mixed up a lot. So let's see how they work out. Let's go ahead and begin. Something real quick. Alright, so again, wow. Okay, well, David Johnson fell to us. The one that I thought we would be taking this morning was Le'Veon Bell, but if David Johnson's there, then absolutely sign me up. But all three drafts went assuming Ezekiel Elliott's back. With that offer they made him, I really hope he accepts it. And if that's the case, then yeah, absolutely take this year. Le'Veon would be the 8th player off the board for me, but the 7th if Ezekiel Elliott's gone. So let's see what comes back to us. Can we get Juju? We cannot. So we're gonna go ahead and stack with a great running back stack. But that's interesting though, because well, let's see, Damian Williams probably won't make it back to us. So let's go ahead and stack this with our running back 7. We've got our running back 5 and 7 right here. Perfectly content with that. Let's see what makes it back to us, though. Okay, Damian Williams is gone, making that easier. Josh Jacobs is gone, making it even more easier. Okay, I'm happy with that. The only problem we run into here is Amari Cooper is the top wide receiver sitting here on the board. And typically, I do not advise taking Amari Cooper as your wide receiver 1. I love him as a wide receiver 2. So let's go ahead and kind of break things down. Who's going to go between now and our next pick? Looks like pretty much all of them. So you need to take your shots while you can. Really, honestly, he's probably the top of this tier. And I'm okay with this because we're going to solidify it with another one from this group. Be perfectly okay with it. Let's go ahead and take Amari and live with it. Let me make sure nothing else that I'm overlooking. I would have loved to have seen maybe even a more solid running back here and just went 3 stack and then got, because all these guys are virtually the same. So we're going to take Amari and be happy with it. We're going to wait and see what comes back to us, what we can solidify it with. Hopefully we don't have a ridiculous wide receiver run here and don't get any of them. It looks like we're okay, though. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is a very difficult one because Marlon Mack's sitting right here. But if we wait, our next best wide receiver is going to be like a Tyler Boyd. And so I think we can live with Miles Sanders instead of Marlon Mack. And I think we're taking Robert Woods here. We need somebody that has high boom potential. And Julian Edelman's going to be a consistency guy. And that's why I like him. But at this point, you're taking 2 shots at boom players where we had to wait. And now let's go ahead and take a look. Did he go? He did not. Right here, Miles Sanders, absolutely who we're taking here, solidifying that. Like I said, I know I love getting Evan Ingram and O.J. Howard, but I can't pass up. I always want to lock down that 3rd running back. That's the most important thing to me. Oh, man, got sniped. I would say if O.J. Howard makes it to us anyway, we're set. So now we're absolutely looking to wide receiver direction. What do we want? What do we think is going to be good? I do really like Mike Williams this year. Let's kind of take a look a little bit. You got a 12 bye week that doesn't conflict with either. Somebody that I think is going to have high amount of touchdowns. I do think he's got a slightly better chance than Robbie Anderson does. If we go down, I do really want Curtis Samuel, but it's so far down. I want to wait and see if we can get him anyway. And if not, then we'll live with the DD or something like that. So we're going to go ahead and take Mike Williams here. See what we get coming back to us. Because like I said, we want to make sure we've got that depth because of the question marks, especially around Amari Cooper with his injury right now. We'll see how that pans out. I think he's going to be okay, though. Wow, DD went. That is crazy. But Curtis Samuel made it, who I wanted over DD anyway. So, easy pick for me. If we can get Kalen Ballage here on this turnaround, that's what we're hoping for. Let's see. Running backs are flying. Goodness gracious. 5 running backs just flew off the board. So, we're going to go ahead and wait because I like the Devin Singletary, the Matt Breida, the Adrian Peterson. I like that better than well, I like Royce Freeman, but I like Fitzgerald better than Royce Freeman, so that's where we're going here. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide receivers. I think we're set on that to take a couple running backs back to back now, which is perfectly exactly what I wanted because there's multiple ones I like. Now, if not, Marvin Jones is a fantastic pick here too. If we would have gotten Kalen Ballage, I probably would have went Marvin Jones here, but we didn't get him. Now we're going to go down and snag who I think is the Nick Chubb of this year. First half of the year, he may not do anything. He's going to end up taking LaShawn McCoy's job, and they may end up trading LaShawn McCoy before that even, and I think he's just going to come out and absolutely explode. I think he's going to be great. Now we're looking right here at the top, Matt Breida, the other one that I said I see a world where him and Kevin Coleman are both relevant, and so I'm absolutely taking that any chance I get. Easy for us because Adrian Peterson went off the board, not having to take 3 of them all in a row, even though when we're I see the next one I like. And I'm going to explain the tight end situation because, again, I only go the 12 rounds. All of these quarterbacks are flying off the board right now. This is where we probably need to take one because of who's there. I'm going to look and see. Ben Roethlisberger's the top, and the next highest I have on my list is Dak, so we actually don't need to take one. We're going to wait. In my order, it goes, which I have Dak ahead of a few of these people that have already went. These quarterbacks flew off the board. I was expecting at least Philip Rivers or Jameis here, and that's okay. So maybe in hindsight, you could have taken Jameis right here. I think we're perfectly okay with where we're at, and that's where we're at is taking Deshaun Jackson because he's the easily best available player here, in my opinion. When you look at the talent, it was him or Tyrell Williams. I do like him a little bit better than Tyrell Williams because he only needs one catch a game to be relevant. Now that it came back around, we're going to snag our quarterback, Dak Prescott. This is typically where we end it, but I'm going to show you guys how I handle the tight end situation because this next round is how I always handle, where I always take my my tight ends because there are 4 that I look at that I like, and I'm going to name them in order that I like them. And the first one, of course, it's kind of flipped around. It's between Greg Olsen and Mark Andrews as my top one. Either way, that's 1 and 2. Kyle Rudolph is 3 and Jordan Reed is 4. You can see Jordan Reed already went off the board this round. We're going to take Mark Andrews, and then usually I'm happy with that. We just settle and then pause. Let's go ahead and take a look at our team. So we ended up with Dak Prescott at the quarterback. I actually am a huge fan of that this year. I think he's going to be great. He's never finished worse than a QB 11, which would be a QB 1 in this. And by waiting, you got so much more depth. I'm perfectly okay with how this turned out. David Johnson and Joe Mixon and Miles Sanders as our running backs. Perfectly okay with this. Amari Cooper, Robert Woods, but we solidified it with Mike Williams, Curtis Samuel, Larry Fitzgerald, and Deshaun Jackson. I don't think you have anything to worry about here because of your depth. If Devin Singletary ends up breaking out and becoming that guy we think he is, absolute stud. If Tevin Coleman gets hurt or Matt Breida works his way into relevance anyway, which I think he will because he's too talented not to, you're looking great on your depth here. With Mark Andrews at the tight end, can't argue that is 13th round. Like, you didn't have to reach on him at all and was able to get more depth. Perfectly content with how this team works out, and if you needed to move some stuff around, make some trades, you're golden to do that. The only question mark I have right here is having to take Amari Cooper. Unfortunately, he was the best one that was there, and we had to do that. I was hoping somebody may have slipped, but they didn't, and that's okay. It was mainly because I was expecting having to take Juju in the second, but he's gone a little bit earlier, as he should. I think he's, in my opinion, I take him over Odell. I take him over Michael Thomas. I take him over Julio Jones. I take him over Tyreek Hill, even though I think Tyreek Hill will finish ahead of him. But he's going, he's moving up as he should, and I think he's got the talent to do so. So we're going to go ahead, live with this team, be happy with it, and we are going to resume in the draft. Okay. Check the time. Do we have time? It's going to be pushing it, but I think I've got time to do the 8 teams, so we're going to go ahead and end this right here. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. If you're keeping up with these, trying to see if you can get your positions locked down before the drafts that you shouldn't be drafting yet. It should be either tonight or tomorrow or Sunday, something like that. You definitely, I recommend Sunday, even though a lot of people do tomorrow. I recommend Sunday. You have more preseason games to go through, but again, not everybody pays that much attention, so Saturday is the hot spot for it. But that is going to be it for our position number 7 on our positional mock drafts, and we will see you in position number 8.